there's this one person at work who I just can't get on with. We don't gel. We seem to wind each other up. Now it gets to the point when I dread being in meetings with them. How can I stop this feeling?
So much context needed on that one as well. Yeah, I guess, you probably start with a bit of self-reflection and thinking, okay, is this, what's this actually about? Is this more about me? Is it about them? There's this thing called, and they only teach people about this generally in psychotherapy or psychology courses, but it's the phenomena of transference. So it's where you transfer, where someone basically reminds you of someone from your past who you might have felt some pain or discomfort around. And when you meet someone as you're walking through life, and if someone's got the same color hair or the same name or the same mannerisms or the same behaviors, all of a sudden the mind fills them out and makes them that person from the past. And you have this like really disproportionate reaction. So I often, when I have a disproportionate reaction to people, I go, God, who are they? Because it's like a ghost. I go, there's a ghost from the past in the room. Who is it? And so often that will sort of break that spell. And then I look for the ways that the person is different to that, old person from the past to help me, connect with them more than the ghost. The other thing is if someone is actually, sort of difficult, if their behaviours are sort of below the line behaviours, then you've got to work out, okay, how do I manage myself so I don't get dragged into that below the line space so that it doesn't become about me? And there's a few different ways of doing that. So if someone's really, if you're a bit scared of someone, if someone's like quite, bullying and intimidating, I use a couple of little visualizations. My favorite one is like shrinking them down into like a little midget. Sometimes if they're really naughty, I put a nappy on them. So I have that visualization in my head. It works. And all of a sudden it takes some of the fear away because you just sort of, because often they are engaging in toddler-like behaviors. So they bloody deserve a nappy on.
I'm sure there must be an AI tool now where you can put their face on a different character and go, oh, actually, that's them. Suddenly they're a lot less threatening. Yeah.
If it's not so much that you're scared, but just that they're really like annoying you or, triggering you, or their behaviors that are against your values, I think it's all about trying to work out that place of understanding, because getting too connected to needing to be the right one or the good one, you might be right, but you might be good. But, you can end up lonely or isolated. Whereas if you really focus on, okay, who are they? Why are they the way they are? How do they think? So really coming at them with, okay, how did you get to that place? Asking them a lot of what questions. What were you thinking? What were your thoughts? Anyway, a few different ideas for different scenarios.
Yeah. No, that's really good. That's such a great way of thinking about it as well. This kind of transference of, they're like this person and now they've become that person. Yeah.
It happens so much. The other thing that people do is projection, where we project us onto others.
Yes. Yeah. Renee, you look like you're about to add this happened to you.
Yeah, I think coming from a place of understanding is where I would always start. I kind of the self-reflection of why am I responding this way, but also why might they be responding this way? So are they under budget pressure? Like what might be in their world that you need to have some empathy for, and understanding that when you go in to have a conversation. And then quite similar to the last kind of question, I would be taking them out of the office. I'd be having a coffee, asking them to go for a walk and saying, hey, I've really, and again, just coming from a place of lacking judgment, acknowledging your own feelings first so that you kind of create some space for theirs. I'm noticing we're having some communication issues or that we're struggling to work together. I'm finding that really challenging. My objective out of this project or relationship is to, you know, make the best work. What's yours, and how might we, you know, is there a way that I'm communicating with you that is making that difficult for you? And, you know, being that kind of taking that first step of, I guess, acknowledging some of where you've contributed to that relationship often leads people to kind of open up. I also am not advocating alcohol, but over a drink often kind of breaks down some of that tension.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, look, I've had lots of those conversations in my career with lots of different people, not always kind of creatives, but, you know, sometimes production people, sometimes clients even, where you kind of got to go like, is there something that I'm doing, you know, and look to yourself first, that is maybe making this difficult for us to work together, and, you know, and then hopefully from there the kind of ice is broken and you really at least understand where everyone's coming from, even if the relationship still is challenging.
I'm thinking back, Renee, to when I've had those conversations, and I love that idea and recommendation. And often after those conversations, I've actually ended up with some really, really good friends.
I agree.
Yeah, like it really strengthens, you know, someone who I used to think, you know, was just incredibly annoying. I've ended up becoming best mates with.
Yeah. I had a creative director once in New York who just was constantly late and constantly sending me work late. And that was extremely triggering for me because I just felt like he was disrespecting my time.
Yeah.
And we were just constantly at loggerheads. And when I explained that to him, he was like, oh, I just can't work in the morning. So we just always had him send something at night, and we just rearranged the schedule so that I could look at it in the morning. And we were never in that position where I was having to log on at 1 a.m. to look at the work before a 9 a.m. meeting. So, you know, it can be something as simple as that was really causing a lot of tension for us both.